Have you retweeted it?
Yep. It's all good to go. We are live. What is up, Giants fans, Big Blue Nation? It's Rob and Donald. This is Nerdin' Out Sports, and it's a sad Sunday. The Giants did, in fact, go into Seattle and lose 6-2 at the bye. Better than anyone could have anticipated, but it is still a sad day. The Giants had what I would consider to be their worst game of the season, 27-13, losing to the Geno Smith-led Seattle Seahawks. I mean, you can point at a lot of things that were the reasons the Giants lost. Carroll seemed to outcoach us. They outplayed us. Richie James putting the ball on the turf twice certainly doesn't help. Offense was bad. It was all around a rough game. Where do you want to start with this one?
Well, it's now middle evening in Eastern Standard Time, and Azudu has still not blocked anyone yet. And that pretty much sums it up.
5 sacks on Daniel Jones today. The highest it's been
Daniel
since
Jones,
the
man.
Dallas
There was a
game.
couple times where I was like, because that dude was getting like run over. It was like as soon as there was a snap, he was like, like it's like, what the fuck. So yeah, Tyree Phillips was about as useful as a flat tire, and Izudu was worse. That dude, like even that last. Did you see the last sack? And I mean, my God, he didn't know where he was. Dude looked like Eric Flowers when he was a Giant. Oh boy. Oh yeah, Luca. Sup, fellas, come to join you after a rough day at the stadium. Luca, come and commiserate with us. Obviously, we both root for two of the franchises that lost this weekend, so we just have to get through it together. We will. Commiserations to the Jets. Kind of looked like you guys got screwed on that interception. I thought it was roughing the passer call. Personally, I thought it was a little bit harsh. I thought you probably should have been up 17-3. But then, of course, no excuse for Zach Wilson just being terrible, super bad. But we didn't have the greatest quarterback on the field ourselves. How would you assess Daniel Jones' performance? I don't think it was his fault, but how would you assess his performance?
I can't blame him for the game, but I can definitely say it was a forgettable performance by him. I mean, he wasn't getting help from the offensive line, but the play calling was very, very suspect for pretty much the entire game. And his throws, he missed wide open. I forgot who it was to, but I think it was in the second quarter. He missed a wide open pass. I think it was to Cage or whatever his name is, one of our many practice squad guys that have been elevated, and he missed it. It was a wide open play. He's missed a couple of those throws. He missed one to Matt Breida, who was going down the sideline on one of those wheel routes. So he wasn't spot on today. It definitely seemed like the crowd noise was getting to him, which was one of the things I feared. We knew it was going to be a struggle going into Seattle. The Seahawks are playing well, and the crowd is one of the best home field advantages in football. When Seattle's a good team, especially right now where no one expected them to be there, they're loud. And you got a bunch of New Yorkers coming over trying to make their presence felt, so Seattle's going to be even louder. But it was just a rough game for the offense in general. But Jones, yeah, some forgettable performance, but once again did not cost us the game. So if you want to take a positive spin on it in any sort of way, you can't say he was the reason we lost the game. It was a collective effort from the offense in general that lost us this game.
Yeah, I was really surprised at the overly conservative play calling, especially in the last minute of the first half. We had possession of the ball, and we basically just did Joe Judge and took a kneel. They just ran right up the middle a couple times and then called it a day. I know that they were thinking, well, you know what, we'll take this as a plus because we're down 3 at the half. But I would have liked to have seen Daniel Jones been given an opportunity to air it out a little bit. They really haven't taken the kid gloves off him yet, have they? They really haven't. I mean, I know he only has one receiver, and that is obviously I preface that now because obviously Bellinger's hurt. That's his safety net gone. It's really just Darius Slayton, and that's it. Wandale didn't look particularly impressive. He had one opportunity to make a catch where contested. It looked like he kind of faded and allowed the guy to jump, the defensive back to jump in front of him and make it an incompletion. He should have fought for that ball. That one in particular I'm talking about was on 3rd and 7 in the red zone. I was hoping that he would have made that play. Apart from that, really, it was just Darius Slayton and nothing else in terms of passing game. And it was obviously very, very easy and Tariq Woolen looks like a very, very legit good player for Seattle. Daniel Jones, he was okay. He certainly wasn't the best quarterback on the field. Geno Smith was that dude.
What a story.
It really is. We'll have to get into that. It wasn't really Jones' fault. He certainly tried his best. He just didn't look, I don't know. I mean, he kind of looked like the Duke Daniel Jones because a lot of his throws were getting blocked at the line, which I saw a lot of him when he was doing that at Duke. So he was lucky to have survived a fumble. He did really well holding on to that ball, actually, that strip sack, but he held on to it. So that's one definitely a positive. There's a couple of times where he should have been picked, but very lucky that it wasn't. He didn't look good, but, I mean, he certainly battled out there. There was a couple of times where he made perfectly good throws, and there was either nobody open or Slayton at one point slipped in the rain and then just kind of let the ball pass them. Just pretty ugly all the way around. The offense was give the ball to Saquon and hope.
Yeah, and they didn't even do that until maybe the 3rd drive. They ran about, 7 or 8 plays before they gave Saquon the ball. So the play calling in general in the first maybe 2.5 quarters was really, really bad. And we didn't score our only touchdown. It came because of the fumble. Adoree Jackson's an absolute monster out there. Gets the forced fumble. We get the ball at the 2 and we get in the end zone. Would have been the momentum swing because the defense then comes out, gets a couple of sacks back-to-back. I think it was Leo and McKinney. And then Richie James coughs it up for the first time and gives Seattle the ball. Seattle was able to score, I think it was 10 points off of turnover. So that's a 10-point swing at least. And if you're thinking if the Giants ride the momentum, maybe they get at least 3. Who knows what could happen there? So Richie James putting the ball on the carpet twice, hurting the Giants. But in that particular instance where he pretty much gave the momentum right back to him, where we stole it. We stole that momentum right away from them after the great punt by Gillen, the forced fumble, get the touchdown. Defense gets a quick stop. We're supposed to get the ball back, and he coughs it up. So that really is what I look at and say, that's where the game was kind of lost, but they still had a chance. They still had opportunities throughout the entire game to come back and pull out another one of those crazy wins. It just wasn't in the cards for us in this one.
How would you assess that? Because you're right. As bad as we were, it looked like we were playing in mud offensively. No, defensively. Defensively, I thought we kind of did as well as we possibly could for large portions of it. Offensively, it looked like we were playing in mud. Yet, it was basically Richie James was the difference of the game. Even though Geno Smith had a great game, the Seahawks defense had a great game. Tyler Lockett had a huge touchdown. Metcalf burned Moreau 6 times minimum that I could count. All that, yet Richie James putting it on the carpet was the difference in the ball game because it was the 2 sacks that led to them scoring each time, and then that was the difference of the game. So how would you assess that? Would you say, hey, you know what? We played like shit and we'd probably be in overtime? Well, if not for a terrible kick returner, or would you say, you know what, we played like shit and now I'm quite concerned?
I wouldn't say I'm concerned. The fact that we played like shit, that's one thing that you can absolutely say for both instances, but I guess you can try to put a little positive light on it and be like, even with all the mistakes they were making and the fact that the offense was not moving the ball, we still stopped the run game pretty well. Probably it's the best we've looked since week 1 against the run. Mm-hmm. This is coming against Kenneth Walker, who went wild last week. We kept him in check. Geno didn't necessarily tear the cup. He wasn't tearing the cover off the stat sheet or anything. He made some really good throws. Don't get me wrong. They had a couple of drop touchdowns, but we did a pretty good job against them. We are overrated, says Frankie G. We barely beat the Panthers, Jaguars, and Bears, and we should not have beat the Titans and Ravens. Well, you're going to play the should-have game. Had we lost those games, it would have been same old Giants. I mean, we know we're not a Super Bowl contender. We were never even supposed to have 6 wins to a lot of people.
No.
So I don't want to start getting too negative and be like, I knew it. This is what we always were. The Giants had a chance to win this game. They had multiple chances to steal this game on the road against a good Seahawks football team. They didn't get it done. Would I say we're overrated? No. I think we're actually, I want to say underrated, but I think we're maybe overhyped. Is that a good word? A lot of people are starting to be like, oh, the Giants might be something special. I know we have been kind of on that train as well. We're going crazy, but we're trying to keep our expectations tempered. Maybe they're just a little bit overhyped because we know there's a significant lack of talent on this team, especially when it comes to playmakers. And Seattle exploited that. They know what the Giants do well. Bootlegs, hand the ball to Saquon, and if Daniel Jones can get running, make sure they can do that. And they stopped all those things. We can only do a couple of things pretty well. And if you stop one of them, and if you don't give up those big runs to Saquon, you're going to stop the Giants. And that's what Seattle did. So until we can get some playmakers, teams are going to pretty much look at what Seattle did and say, okay, well, there's the blueprint. And just don't let their defense get the stop at the end of the game that allows us to come back and win.
Well, Frankie G, regarding that, I mean, listen, you just have to look at our offense, man. We have one receiver, and we have an all-world running back. And, that's kind of what we have. It looks like we've got a sensational left tackle. He's been fantastic. Bellinger getting hurt was Daniel Jones' safety net gone. It's little wonder why we've struggled against the Panthers, the Jags, and the Bears, but we still come out on top. You have to give them credit for that because their coaching is superb. So there's one thing that we aren't is overrated in terms of our coaching staff. Our coaching staff, if anything, is underrated. It's a phenomenal coaching staff. Even Wink Martindale somehow managed to keep this game a close game despite having no offense and having a terrible kick returner. We were really struggling for talent, man.
Comes in the catch. Joe Judge, he's back. He says, I told you guys shouldn't have fired me. Oh, no. Coach Judge has returned.
How are things in the Patriots, Joe? He must have been happy to have come through against the Jets. Yeah. No, I'm quite happy that we fired you, actually, to be honest. In fact, I couldn't be happier because Joe Judge is still not a good head coach, and Brian Daboll is coach of the year. I don't want to trade for a wide receiver unless he's young and has at least 2 more years in this game. Very smart, very true. Who are you suggesting? Jerry Jeudy? I don't know if he'll be made available now after that Denver win. I was really hoping Denver would lose because then they would have been more open to a fire sale. Chase Claypool, I don't know if he's the right fit necessarily. I think he's talented, but I'm not sure if he's the right fit.
Yeah, there was talk about Brandon Cooks as well, but that contract, the Texans would have to eat a lot of it, and the Giants would probably have to give up more than they would want to because of the money situation. So I think at this rate, if you're going to get anybody, it might be Jerry Jeudy, depending on what goes on. And now Brian Flores is in the chat. He says you guys are definitely regretting hiring people. Oh, no. No, I'm not reading that loud. No.
Uh-oh. What's happening now? Is Ben McAdoo coming on? What's next? Ben McAdoo up?
Is Pat Shurmur coming next? Anyway, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. We have till Tuesday to figure it out. I think the bye week is coming at a really good time because it gives the Giants a lot of things to figure out who they should be playing on special teams and who they're going to acquire, if anybody, and get some guys healthy because maybe we can have Kenny Golladay coming back after the bye, and that would be a boost in some capacity to a receiving core that needs any help it can get right now.
Well, I liked his attitude. I liked his answer. He looks like he was far more interested than Kadarius Toney in playing for the Giants. So maybe he comes around. I'm just worried because he just like here. I know how your Steelers.
Not good.
You tell him, Frankie. You tell him, brother. Yeah. So where were we? Been sidetracked by Brian Flores here, getting in the chat.
Brian Flores and Joe Judge have infiltrated the chat. I think we were discussing the offense, the lack of play calling, the conservativeness.
Yeah, what would you do? Would you get Chase Claypool? Would you give him would you trade for him?
I think it all depends on the price. I said it yesterday. If Joe Shane gets a receiver, I'll be happy. If he holds on to the picks, I'll be happy. Because even though I knew I had a feeling we were going to lose this game and I still want us to make the playoffs, I think we're playing with the house's money right now. Mm-hmm. We're 6-2. No one would have expected it. My win total for the season going into it was if we can get 8, I'll be thrilled. And we're still very, very close to that. So I think at this point, if you want to just stay the course and hope that you can still eke out some wins. We still have winnable games on the schedule. So we'll see what happens. But I'm just going to trust the GM. I'm going to trust Joe Shane and Brown to see what they want to do back there. And if they want to go into the draft with all these picks, then good. If they want to use the extra picks they've acquired to go and get a receiver to help us right now, then that works for me. Joe Judge is calling Brian Flores a bitch. Oh, no.
Here we go. Shots fire. I'm
Joe
liking
Judge
this.
Going after
I really hope
Flores.
Ben McAdoo comes in and joins. I got some choice words for Ben. So I don't know. Claypool's very talented. When the Steelers first drafted him, and I'm still so distracted by this. That's one.
Thank you.
Beard.
Appreciate
Bro,
that.
There you go. What about my beard? I've got a pretty good beard. Okay. No. Chase Claypool. When the Steelers first drafted him, I thought he was really talented. I liked his first year. I liked his rookie year. I was like, damn, that guy, they've got a steal right there. But then kind of fell off in year 2. And I wasn't loving his attitude, but maybe a fresh place would be better for him. Certainly a better quarterback would be good for him. Although Daniel Jones might not be our franchise quarterback, at the moment he looks better than Kenny Pickett. So,
yeah, there's still a lot of things that are up in the air. I think we have till 4 p.m. Tuesday to see what they do, if anything. So we'll know in just a couple of days if they're going to make a move or not. NYG content creator highlights puts all the great video up, all the great videos. I think he's the one who put the bracket where he had us as a number 1 seed. Welcome to the chat. He says tough loss, but on the road to 14-3. Oh, that would be something. 14-3 optimism here. I don't know how it would contain my excitement if we finish 14-3.
We literally have to get a tattoo on our ass with a big NY on it. Listen, 2 weeks ago when we went into this Jaguars Seahawks spell, we were like, we're going to lose one of the two. That is a fact. We will do it. Which one it is, I'm not sure. I'm really not worried about the loss. Obviously, the way that we lost isn't pretty, but then there's like two sides of the coin. Like the one side of the coin is we offensively look like we're playing in mud, but then the other side of the coin is, listen, there's a very good chance that it's a tie game and it goes into overtime if Richie James could hold on to the football. So I really don't know. I don't think we've learned anything more about this team than we did last week. I think we know already where we're at. I think we've got a very good defense for the most part. Although I'm still concerned about coverage. But in the most part, I think our defense is doing the best we can. Offensively, listen, it's just Saquon Barkley that we've already known that. So we've not learned anything more about where we're at. You know what I mean?
You got your wish, Donald. Ben McAdoo.
Oh!
He said, I told you Geno was better than Eli.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the Ben McAdoo revenge tweet. That's what I was waiting for.
And then Joe Judge fires back and says, "Oh no, Joe Judge, you know you were on our side for like a few seconds when you fired back at Flores.
Yeah, you really can't say that when we got the GOAT's jersey on right now. So.
Come on now, Ben McAdoo probably Geno is better than he. Look, I'm gonna tip my cap to Geno Smith. In all seriousness, I know we're having fun right now, but he's balling out. You got to give him. You got to give Pat Shermer. He's probably next to show up in the chat, but Pete Carroll.
Don't say it. Oh no,
Pete Carroll. You got to give him a lot of credit because Geno Smith has been insane this year. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We talked about it in the pregame, but he played well, and he had there were some key drops for touchdowns by his receivers. So, hey, tipping the cap to Geno that he deserves it. The Seahawks are playing out of this world right now, considering what they were expected to be going into the year. It was looking like a fire sale. Russell Wilson's gone. Who's the quarterback? Drew Lock. Then they put Geno Smith out there, and it's like, okay, well, they'll be competing for one of the top quarterbacks. Now they're 5-3, probably going to be in contention for the West, along with San Francisco. Riley Dixon jersey. Oh, no.
I remember Riley Dixon.
It's like the ghost from Giants Pass here on
Halloween. That is the ghost of Giants Pass. I remember him. I don't want to remember him, but I do in fact remember him. The Geno Smith revenge tour. What more can I say? Pete Carroll has turned Geno Smith into an elite quarterback, and I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm going to have to turn into Plato and start reassessing everything that I know about reality, about the world around me. Like, I literally don't understand, but Geno Smith, at this time of his career, has suddenly woken up, and he's bawling the frick out, and it's scary. I mean, listen, he could have put up like crazy numbers. He could have had 400 yards passing today if he wanted to, but Tyler Lockett dropped a perfect pass right in the bread basket, which would have been a touchdown. Every throw Geno Smith was just perfect spirals, 40 yards, boom, right in the bread basket. I don't know what's going on. Dude's playing like Madden on rookie right now. I don't freaking get it. I don't even think if you did a Madden sim with Geno Smith as your freaking quarterback, you would have the kind of year that he's currently having right now. I'm literally, I literally don't understand. But you're right, man. I have to tip my cap to him. He's a good guy. He's not an asshole by any stretch of the imagination. He's a good guy. He was waiting for his opportunity, and he's taken it. He just needed good coaching. He didn't get good coaching with the Jets. He certainly didn't get good coaching with Ben McAdoo. So he's gotten really good coaching from Pete Carroll, and he's got two elite wide receivers, and that will help him.
And we got the man of the hour himself in the chat, Geno Smith. He says, "What happened to Giants? You must be mad you got rid of me." No, we're not.
I am mad. Come back to us, Geno.
So overrated. DJ sucks. They should start Davis Webb. Me and him were buddies. Davis Webb. That is still one of the greatest debates of the Giants, maybe over the past 5 or so years. Is like, what would you have done if you were to bench Eli? Would you have gone with Geno, or would you have given the rookie 3rd round pick a shot? They went with Geno. It led to the firing of McAdoo and Jerry Reese, and they put Eli back out there. And they bring in Gettleman, who has not shown up yet, but maybe he's coming next. And
maybe he's coming. What's named Gettleman's coming back. Pat Shermer's coming back. Oh my God, it's going to be mayhem.
It's the night before Halloween, Donald. It's the night before Halloween, and Ghost of Giants Pass misery are coming to haunt us as we take our 2nd loss of the season. So it's only fitting.
Matt Dodge. I want a Matt Dodge account.
I don't think you want that.
He really was the ghost of Giant Pass for me, man. He's literally. I still have.
There he is. He's here. Dodge. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, thank you, Ben. He says, "I know you're mad at me, but Rob, you're one hot man out." Well, thank you, Mr. McAdoo. Appreciate it. Thank you for the one playoff appearance in the last
Rob
decade.
doesn't swing your way, Ben. You're gonna have to focus.
Joe Judge says agreed. Oh, the head coach is a Giants pastor hitting on me here. What a night as we just try to discuss the Giants' loss. Try to get back on track a little bit here. What about the defense today? What did you think about them?
They battled, man. They really battled. I think we're pretty good up front. Certainly created havoc. I mean, listen, 3 sacks is better than we've had in a while. Just coverage wasn't great. Dory Jackson was good. Moreau was not good on the other side. That was basically his only bad game that I've seen him as a Giant so far, Moreau. So, yeah, listen, it was fine. Like, the defense was not the problem. It really wasn't. I mean, listen, you've got Geno Smith balling out. You've got 2 elite wide receivers. You can maybe cover one. Covering 2 is probably a stretch too far for this Giant team, which is really, it was under strength. Obviously, got a lot of injuries, and Ben McAdoo is really trying to make miracles happen here. And I'm just trying to focus on Giant football. And Rob is getting so good.
I love Rob. He says, "Oh, Ben, what are you doing to me, man? We had to get rid of you. You were gone. You were out of our lives forever. Now you're haunting Carolina's." Well, actually, Carolina came very close to winning today. Very, very close to winning.
Oh, that was did you watch that game?
I know I picked them to win, so there you go, Ben. I picked Carolina to win.
I was rooting for the Falcons. I was like, come on, Atlanta. I mean, that was the craziest game, man. I watched it. In fact, I was late watching the Giant game because I had to watch the end of that mayhem. It was the weirdest game I've ever seen. So they were up, what was it? They were up 6. And then as time was expiring, they threw a Hail Mary to DJ Moore from their own 35, caught, touchdown. Everyone was expecting them to get the extra point that will have them win the game. But then DJ Moore was called for a very odd penalty, and then the kicker somehow missed. Then they got the ball, and the kicker missed a chip shot.
Yeah.
And then the Falcons went the other end and scored. Crazy a game, but that was fun game of football, really.
It was. Who would have thought that? Because that was one of the games that I thought was going to be like just bad all around. But Pinheiro sucks. Yeah, he obviously missed the freaking kick that would have won the game for them. And then he says he'll hire me as the kicker. I don't think you want that. I cannot kick a football.
Can we hire you as a kickoff returner? You can't be worse than Richie James.
As long as I don't fumble the football. I mean,
so I don't think he can. I mean, listen, Richie James didn't even look like he got contacted. Like he was holding the ball out, going, "Hit me, please!" Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, "What are you freaking doing?"
He jumbled the. Oh no! Look who you guys suck on offense. Says Jason Garrett. They really are haunting.
It was a Jason Garrett offense today, man. Like it was like run the ball up the middle, and then that was it.
Jason Garrett has arrived. He's back. They really are haunting us all. I have to get my. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's on NBC now. He said "Fly Eagles Fly" last week, which I'm sure drew the ire of Cowboys fans everywhere. I don't think Giants fans gave a crap that he said that, but Cowboys fans probably certainly cared.
Wow, I didn't even know he was on NBC.
Very forgettable, Mr. Garrett.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot about him. Nice guy, but not an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, back to the defense, though. I thought we like you said, battled out there. They gave us a chance. And, yeah, they gave up some scores off the turnovers, but it was such short field that you're almost guaranteed to give up any sort of points. That was a swing. It really was. I hate saying it was this one particular thing that cost us, but it really was the fumbles that cost us a chance to at least have a chance to win this game, if that makes sense. If he doesn't fumble, the Giants are probably putting together one of those late drives to maybe come back and win, or maybe they fall short. But Richie James, and the fact that he was back out there again later in the game to have that second fumble is what really bothered me, because the defense gets a stop. The game is still within reach, and he coughs it up again, and that's what put the game on ice. That's really what set it as a loss. And Kadarius Toney Kadarius Tony
Happy
Owen.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
KT. Off to the Chiefs. I still love that trade.
I think we talked about it the other day.
Did you see the meme of KT like Forrest Gump? You know what I mean? Where he's like he's got the leg braces on, and then he sees the Chiefs and it's like he's running like frick. He's like,
yeah. He says he faked that injury. So inside scoop right here on Nerding Out Sports.
Only on Nerding Out Sports, you heard it right here. He faked that injury. We know he faked that freaking injury. He'll be doing handstands right now.
Oh, he's got Jason Garrett on his side. Sorry about Dable. Oh my goodness, it is mayhem here in the chat. Just like it's mayhem in the NFL. It's just mayhem. Well, let's talk about our predictions for the game, though, because they didn't look too good at the end of it.
Okay, so you had the mayor of Dimesville at 215 yards and a touchdown?
Yeah, he finished with 176, no touchdown.
Well, how about me? 240 yards and a touchdown. So that's worse. None of us get the win there.
We can't. None of us can take the W.
Dreadful. Okay. You had the X Factor of the week, Gano. He was pretty much our offense. But I don't know if that really counts. X Factor of the week, Tyree Phillips for me. Well, he was so not good. Rob, you had the Giants getting 2 sacks. I had them getting 3 sacks, so I was right there, right on the money. 1 zip. Saquon. I think I had him getting 125 yards and a rushing touchdown. I got the rushing touchdown right. Didn't get the yardage right.
No, he had 62 from scrimmage or something like that, and he had 53 on the ground.
Right. You just had 115 and a touchdown. So I guess you were the closest, but
again, none of us can take a W for that
one. All right. We actually both had touchdowns for Darius. No, sorry. I had a touchdown for Saquon as the first touchdown. You had a touchdown for Slayton as the first touchdown.
DeAndre Baker.
Oh, my God. I really couldn't stand DeAndre Baker. Dude, I can't stand you. I really don't like you.
DeAndre Baker is in the chat. This is insane.
Are we going to get an Eli Apple? If Eli Apple comes on, I've got some choice words for Eli Apple.
Oh, no. No, it'd be great if Eli Apple shows up, and then right after that, an Eli Apple's mother account shows up.
Oh, of course.
Then we really know we're in the twilight zone for
Maybe
Giants.
we could get Eric Flowers on because he cost Eli Manning the tail end of his career, and Azudu's obviously been taking inspiration from Eric Flowers with the way he played today. So, so back to our predictions. You had Darius Slayton, I had Saquon, so it's a dub for me.
Certainly is.
Receiver, I had Slayton as the most receiving yards. You had Wandale.
It was Slayton.
So, what is it, 3 zip? Turnover, didn't get it right. You had Dex, I had Tibbs.
It was a Dory Jackson.
It was a Dory Jackson. So, the score prediction, Rob, you had the Giants losing 24-20. I had the Giants losing 27-20.
There he is. He's here. He's arrived. Eli, stop trash talking to me. At least I made it.
You are the worst corner I have ever freaking seen as a Giant, dude. You sucked. And you're a bigger asshole than you were a worst corner. There you go. Happy Halloween, Eli.
Welcome, Eli Apple, to the chat. Absolute mayhem here tonight.
So, yeah, it looks like I actually had a pretty good prediction week.
All things considering, yeah, you did. Even with you were dead wrong about Jones and Saquon, but you were right on so many other things.
Yeah. Still happy about that, though. I've redeemed myself, but I think you're probably going to win the weekly matchup. So obviously, there's still some games to play.
Another compliment on the beard from Eli Apple. I appreciate it. Why is nobody complimenting Donald on his goatee?
Nah, no, I want you to get the attention, man. I'm liking this.
Well, I've gotten compliments on my beard. I've gotten offers to be a sugar daddy, to be the kicker of the Panthers tonight. This is like,
Rob, you're balling out, man. This is Rob's night, and I'm here for it. Okay, let's have a quick look at our weekly matchups to see where we're at. I had the Falcons, you had the Panthers, so it's 1-0 me.
Yep.
We both had Seattle, so it's 2-1. We both have the Jags, so that's an L.
Yep.
Both had the Dolphins, both had the Eagles.
Okay.
You had the Vikings, I had the Cards, so now we're knotted up.
Hey, Eli Apple's mom says Eli be nice. We did it. We got Mama Apples in the chat.
Isn't it past Eli's bedtime? Get Eli to bed. We both had the Raiders, so that's an L. We both had the Cowboys.
Okay, 4-4.
Damn, we both had the Titans. So we both get the W there. Rob, you had the Jets. I had the Pats. Yes.
5-4.
Okay, I had the Colts. You had the Commandos.
5-5. Are we going to tie this week?
Wait a minute. Am I not ahead at this point?
We didn't pick the Ravens Bucks. We both picked the Bills to win. Eli Apple's mom asked if I was single. For you, Eli Apple's mom, yes, I am single.
Colts Commandos, so that's 1 in my favor. Jets Pats is 2 in my favor.
No, I had Commanders. No. You had the Colts.
Yeah, I had the Colts. You had the Commanders.
Yeah, the Commanders won.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, 17-16.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, what the fuck? I was because the Colts, the Commanders couldn't do fuck all. Excuse me. Where did that happen? Did they score like in the last minute or something?
Yeah, Heineke threw like a last-minute touchdown to the hell was it? Gibson or something like that? It was like a bomb.
Oh shit!
Oh my god! What is going on? Eli Apple's mom, please keep it PG. I know Donald just cursed here, but
wow. So I wasn't expecting that. I actually thought the Colts won that game. Well, good job, bro. So are we knotted up then? Okay.
Yeah.
49ers we both had. And
6-6.
Then we've got the Bills and the Bengals that we both have. So we're going to finish the season tied, or the week tied.
I mean, it's better than one of us taking the L.
That's good. That is good.
That Panthers game screwed me. I really thought they were going to win.
The goddamn Commandos or the Commanders or the whatever their freaking name is. God damn it. I didn't think they were going to win that game.
They're on a winning streak now. Is it 3 in a row they won?
Oh, fuck them. Fuck them. Right. So who gets the worst player of the game award for you?
Richie James. If it's anybody but Richie James, it would be just because he's the obvious choice. I'll say Izzudu because he was brutal out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if it's not Richie James, who can it be? Marcus Golden is here. No,
I like Marcus Golden. He was a pretty good player.
I like them too, and they had to get rid of him because they
were. Yeah, he was good. Good, a good system pass rusher, kind of like X-Man.
Because you suck. Oh my god. Oh, what is happening?
So, Richie James, dude, what a freaking disaster of a performance. Like, honestly, he should be ashamed of himself. His technique when returning punts and kicks is just garbage. Like, it's terrible. Like, he's constantly got butterfingers, so
This
he
is his
needs to
third fumble
go.
this year. I think it's his
Dude,
third, yeah.
like, he muffs everything. Like, he's just like, he could be cut. He's so bad, but we don't have any receivers, so I don't really know what we do with that. But yeah, he was garbage, and I'm pretty pissed off at that because this team is so short-handed and so lacking in options that you really need to do your job.
Yeah.
So he failed us, and it's pretty unacceptable. But I would say that Izudu ran a close second. Would you say that?
Yeah. Mizuta was brutal. Phillips wasn't very good. There's just a lot you can choose from this week, but it's like James and Izuta were right there, 1A, 1B.
Who were you most impressed by?
I'll go for offense. I'll say Darius Slayton because he had that one 21-yard grab, which he stole out of the air. And defense, man, Dory Jackson just keeps proving. Everyone kept saying we don't have a number one, and there he is, the guy who signed him, Dave Gettleman. Hey Joe, fans must be missing. What a beard, bro! This is crazy. We obviously know what's going on here. However, Dory Jackson was fantastic.
Yeah, I think he was good. I was impressed with McFadden. I think I wasn't expecting him to get a sack. He looked pretty good. I think Adoree Jackson did pretty well considering, but he did allow Lockett to beat him a couple times. I really don't know. Would you say Dexter Lawrence again?
I would actually say Leo. Leonard Williams was balling out there.
Okay. We'll settle on Leo Williams. I really hope he gets fully healthy because he's been kind of having injuries on and off for the last few weeks. So we need to get him fully healthy. This certainly will help us up front. But I liked us up front. I thought Dex and Leo were certainly right there as amongst our best players. In coverage, we weren't great, but not bad. Julian Love didn't have the game I was hoping for. I didn't see him on the field.
Look, Dave Gettleman's complimenting you. He says, this kid to your right has an awesome beard. I think he's trying to do the Boston accent. The Boston accent. You know how Gettleman used to always say, what was it? It warms my heart. That's what he would say.
Hat.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, thank you very much, Dave.
Welcome back, Dave Gettleman.
Yeah. Thanks so much for signing Adoree Jackson. We'll give you credit for that. We'll thank you for drafting Dexter Lawrence. We'll give you credit for that.
Andrew Thomas.
We'll give you credit for that. Do we give him credit for Daniel Jones? Maybe a little bit.
Saquon Barkley.
Half. Definitely give him credit for Saquon Barkley. And that's about it.
But I can't give you credit for Galladay because the guy hasn't seen the field, Dave. I'm sorry. Guy just make me. Oh no! My God.
Happy freaking Halloween.
It's a night of scares tomorrow, and we're getting them tonight as we just heard about Dave Gettleman's erectile dysfunction. Halloween Ends came out 2 weeks ago, Dave. Why are you showing this stuff now?
That poor old man. Well.
Hope he's enjoying retirement.
I don't know if that was I don't know what you were meaning by that necessarily, but anyway, there wasn't a lot to choose from as from our best players. Okay, so Daniel Jones, what does he need to work on? How would you assess things? Stock up, stock down, because he was so stock up after the NFC Player of the Week. Stock down, or you still okay?
Well, a little bit. It certainly doesn't help having your starting left guard and your right tackle get lost in the same game, and then you go into the Seattle game with what we had. They didn't do him any favors. Also, we did not mention this at all yet. Nick Gates, Very, very happy to see him back on the field. Had the key block for the Saquon touchdown. So really, really glad to see him back. What a story he is. Oh my God. I'm, I'm not even gonna highlight it. Dave, I can't do it. It's rated M. Your comments are rated M. Anyway, Nick Gates, very, very glad to see you back on the field because it is a very good story.
Dude, very well remembered. Actually, to be honest, I think he might get that sneaky best player award just for his blow-up block that allowed Saquon to get in there at the 2-yard line for a touchdown. Hell of a block. That dude's got a big heart. He really does.
Yeah, major props to Nick Gates because his career was in jeopardy. So the fact that he's even out there playing, that's pretty special. The fact that he's seen the field before Dave Gettleman's draft pick, Kadarius Toney, and his big signing. That's pretty impressive. I'm not even. I'm not Dave. You're going off the rails. Dave, you're going senile. We need to put you back in the retirement home. I think he escaped. That's what's going on here. They're looking for him. Oh my God! Yeah. There we go. Oh my God! I don't know what. How can we follow that up?
Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure what to think about how Daniel played because it's hard to assess because he doesn't have any receiving options, and every time that he snapped the ball, he was flattened. But his numbers weren't good, and you still want your quarterback to rise above, what's around him. He didn't really do that, but again, wasn't really his fault. I don't know. He certainly didn't have a bad game because he didn't turn the ball over, and that's really good. But 158 yards.
Yeah.
And that's really it. There's not really what you're looking for. No touchdowns, nothing. He wasn't really even a threat in the run game either. He struggled to complete a pass, let's be fair. But nobody was really getting open, and he certainly didn't have much time to throw the ball. But, yeah, it's a weird one. I wasn't impressed. But he was the NFC Player of the Week before, so.
Yeah, it was a forgettable game, and we got the bye week, so hopefully they do all the work necessary to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. Because I would say this was worse than the Dallas game. The Dallas game was pretty bad, but they had a shot to win that game despite Daniel Jones getting ran over by a truck pretty much every single play. They still had a chance to win that game. Today, even though they had a shot until that last fumble, they just did not look like they were prepared. Seattle was doing whatever they wanted, and it was a couple of drop touchdowns that prevented this from being like an actual blowout. So I would say this was worse than Dallas.
Yeah.
wish we could tell you, Frankie. We got bombarded by the ghost of Giants pass.
Credit to our imperious host here. He managed to somehow stay focused during all the mayhem, but we're trying to focus on the game. It was a Halloween episode. There we go.
Keyword is trying to focus.
Best thing I can say about it. Okay, so so you're still fairly positive about Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I won't say this is the game that's like starting to turn the hype down a little bit. I still think he played, I don't want to say good enough. He didn't play bad enough to lose, and he had opportunities to help us at least try to come back and win that game. There was that one drive at the start of the second half that only ended with 3 points, but it was like a second drive of the half or something like that. Whatever it was, when we got the 3 points, he looked good. And it was one of those drives where you say, like, hey, there's Danny doing his thing again. But then the rest of the game, it was just like, here comes the blitz, and they had no answer for it. So it wasn't his best game for sure, but it wasn't one of the worst games we've seen by him because there's been a lot of those.
Yeah, listen, it all comes down to decision-making. His decision-making was okay. Maybe in prior years, he would have gotten flustered and he would have gone flustered and maybe turned the ball over a number of times. He didn't do that. He certainly tried to keep us in the game. Yeah, there's not much I can really add. It was definitely not one of his good nights, and it's certainly not something that you want in this highlight tape. Number of throws were being batted down at the line, which kind of reminded me of his college tape. But he did his level best to keep us in the game, and certainly if you maybe had more receiving options that could get open, then his numbers would have been significantly better because there was a number of throws which were spot on. You know what I mean? So it's just listen, Geno Smith was really freaking good.
He was.
That's probably why I'm a little bit more negative about Jones than I want to be because Geno Smith just looked that much better, and that's kind of scary to me.
Yeah, speaking of scary, I have arrived in the chat. Sorry, I'm late. So it's Robception here. It's just absolute chaos happening here tonight on Nerding Out Sports. But I think that's where we can leave it. The fact that I'm also in the chat while hosting. I'm multitasking here.
See, that is a quality host right there.
It certainly is. But in all seriousness, though, even though it was pretty fun-filled stuff with all the ghosts of Giants past arriving. Oh my God, he's saying no. I don't know what else to talk about, Rob. I don't know what else to say.
Stop. Focus, man. You're doing so well.
We're gonna have to end this here, but I do thank you. We do thank everybody that was in here having some fun. We know it was all in good fun, and hopefully we can have some talk about the bye week. Some point this week we'll discuss what the Giants do at the deadline if they do anything. So that'll be good.
Yeah, maybe we do it Tuesday. Yeah, we do an episode after Tuesday, and hopefully we got something to talk about. Or maybe Odell Beckham decides to sign. That would be nice.
Should be interesting. And yeah, thank you for keeping up with us. NYT
Thank you.
Content.
Proper reply. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
But that is going to do it for us here at Nerding Out Sports. Rob and Donald, thank you once again to everybody. And thank you for the guys that hit the subscribe button because we gained a few here tonight. So thank you. Be sure to do that. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow the links in the description to follow everybody that's involved. Me, Donald, Alex, Luca. Follow everybody. And thank you once again. One of the best Giant. We appreciate that very, very much. We really do. Appreciate the comment.
Yeah, that's nice.
How do you donate? We don't have that set up, but we do. We aren't monetized and we don't have super chats, but we appreciate that a lot just for the consideration. But
once we get there, then you'll be the first to know.
You'll be the first one. There it is. We have a long way to go, but we're going to get there. Anyway, that is going to do it for us. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you all next time. Let's go, Giants. Peace out.